What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on this channel. Now, today we're going to be talking about Gabriel Jesus. Yes, a player quite close to my heart, to be honest, because he's played for Man City for quite a few years. I've had the joy of watching him play so many games, scoring so many goals, and he's just never quite cut it at City in terms of being a guaranteed or a regular starter. And overall, he's just been a really exciting player for the club. I remember when he first signed, he was scoring goals left, right, and center, and we thought, oh my god, we got an absolute beast of a player from somewhere in Brazil. We had no idea. We're just like, oh my god, can't believe we got him. It's not really turned out the way we originally thought in terms of, you know, there's been comparisons in the past to players like R9 to him, and I'm obviously not saying he's R9 level, but like, you know what I mean, like in terms of the talent he had, the way he played the game. I think a lot was expected of him, and he never just quite reached that level, unfortunately. So today, really, we're just going to be exploring what he can do in an Arsenal shirt. You know, from watching the amount of games I've watched of him, what I think he does well, what I don't think he does well, and I'm going to marry that up with whether he's going to fit at Arsenal well. So what positive things does Gabriel Jesus bring? Firstly, and I think this is the most important thing that you have to note about Gabriel Jesus, is his pressing is out of this world. He is one of the best pressers I've seen from a front line. The intensity of which he presses with, it's unrivaled. I think he's probably the best presser in terms of the front line at City. His touch and his skill is also another thing that he excels in. He's very, very, very cute in terms of the way he can maneuver the ball out of a certain situation. His off-the-ball movement in the channels, especially the right channel, is very smart, very quick. And he does actually have quite a good amount of pace. So these are the things that he does well. He can press. He can maneuver the ball well with the ball at his feet. He's good off the ball. And he's got a good amount of pace. That's scary in terms of when you're looking at a forward player. Those are some of the things that are so necessary in terms of when you're looking to have a front line to compete for top four, which Arsenal are trying to do. So I would say there's two criticisms of Gabriel Jesus. The first one is, I don't think he scores a variety of goals. I think he scores a lot of those in the box type goals. And don't get me wrong, he's very good as a poacher. And the second thing I'm going to say is, look, it's not bad. He doesn't have bad finishing. I just want to say that real quick. He's not a bad finisher. He's just not elite. You know, I've been used to watching Sergio Aguero for City, who is just absolutely lethal. Now, Gabriel Jesus is not that. He's a good finisher, but he's not of the level of a top-class striker. And I really think that's the part that lacked at City in terms of his finishing ability. Now, I've seen a lot of people saying that, oh, he's not going to get 700 chances at Arsenal, so he's not going to score many. I think that's nonsense. I think he'll score quite a few goals next season, and I wouldn't be surprised if I saw him hitting 15 plus goals. So next thing I want to do is I want to look at Gabriel Jesus, and I want to compare him to what Arsenal have been starting. Now, obviously, in terms of goals, assists, Lacazette, I don't think there's there's no competition there in terms of what they bring in terms of goals and assists output. Gabriel Jesus is clearly the better option. But I want to have a look at what Lacazette brings in terms of a lot of things that he did bring to Arsenal last season. He did bring quite a lot when he played in terms of the hold-up play, the link-up. He just couldn't get the output, and that's where the issue came. Okay, so Jesus is the yellow line, Lacazette is the blue line. I would love to know when this is from, or if this is just in general. Top 10 in assists outside the box. Okay, so Jesus is top 10 in assists, top 10 in assists inside the box, top 5 in assists via open play. So the strengths and weaknesses. So goals, Jesus is superior in goals to Lacazette. Shots converted, better. Defense, better. Passes, again, better. Assists, better. The only thing that Lacazette is going to bring in terms of, the only thing that you're going to lose, which is only slightly, with Lacazette to Jesus, is heading ability. Now, Jesus can win a header from time to time, and he's got good movement in the box. So that means he's going to be able to find space and win headers. But that looks like one spot where Lacazette kind of beats him in a little bit. So you're pretty much getting everything boosted from Jesus, from Lacazette. He's got way more output. His conversion rate's better. He's going to give you more in the defensive aspect of things, which I know Mikel Arteta likes. And his assists and passing is better. So you're not losing pretty much anything. You're only gaining with this signing from an upgrade from Lacazette. So this is the big thing that people have been pointing out. Big chances, right? Lacazette 33, Jesus 42. Now Jesus probably played, I would like to say, less minutes, but I'm not 100% sure. But as I said, his conversion rate is better in terms of playmaking. Now, this is a little bit skewed because Jesus did play on the wide right a lot for City this season. But again, you're looking from assists. It's hard to talk about assists because the problem with assists is the quality of play he's going to be feeding at City is going to be higher. So I'll give Lacazette a little bit of credit there. He did do well with linking up and creating chances last season. But it's the goals. That's what people criticize Lacazette for last season, is the goals. Passes, I'm not gonna read too much into it because the way City play, it's pass. The defense, this is the thing is I wanted to look at. Look at that, pass to interception is 50. For a striker / winger, that is really good. Tackles 44. Look, he's a really good presser. He is a really good presser, Jesus. So let's look at the detailed stats per 90. Gabriel Jesus scores more goals, but obviously, as a lot of people point out, the big chances, right? City do create more big chances than Arsenal. But you look at the expected goals per 90, 0.31, and he's scoring 0.14. You look at expected goals, 0.44, he's scoring 0.31. So I would assume if City, if with Jesus next season, this tally is going to go from 0.14 to probably around 0.25. I think that's where roughly you're going to be looking at. Maybe a little bit less, maybe 0.2, but you get the chance, you get the point. Playmaking, look, I'm not going to look into playmaking and passing too much because Jesus plays for City and the passing, etc. It's just going to be, look, it's way higher. Look, it's just going to be. Defense, again, you know, he's getting more pass interceptions, more tackles, more blocks per 90. So you're gaining not only an attacking threat, a defensive player as well. So all the stats look like they point towards Gabriel Jesus being a better striker than Lacazette. I think most people saw that anyway. They're going to be leveling up signing Jesus. Now, I want to take you over to my little tactical board for a second that I've set up. Because I want to discuss something that is going to be quite important. How is Jesus going to fit in at Arsenal? Now, obviously, you've got Bukayo Saka who plays on this right. You've got players like Martinelli that will play on the left. And the rest of the team, we don't need to fully go through the entire team. But this is where Arsenal have signed Jesus to play. They've signed him to play this 9 role. Now, last season for Manchester City, Gabriel Jesus occupied this area. He would make the runs here, but he would also come inside. He'd come into the box. Don't make it weird. But this is the areas that Gabriel Jesus occupied last season. Now, there is something important to note, and I'm going to explain it right now. For those of you who do not know, there was something that happened a few years ago in the last World Cup for Brazil with Gabriel Jesus, where he played at the striker role. He didn't score a single goal. And for Brazil number 9s, a lot got made of it. And Jesus' confidence was shot by the end of that World Cup. And I don't think in his mind he's ever recovered from that World Cup in terms of wanting to be desperate to play that striker role. Apparently, he was asked for Brazil where he would want to play. He said on the right. For City, he said the same thing. Apparently, Pep Guardiola was told by Jesus himself that he would prefer to play out on that right-hand channel. This was last season when City did not have a striker, which is a little bit of an issue for Arsenal. Now, the positive thing I will say is that Jesus looked like he put on a little bit of weight towards last season, which means he might be putting on some weight to get stockier and play that 9 role. But that is something to be wary of, is you're signing a player that might not want to long-term play the 9 role. He's good at it, but if you've got a player that doesn't want to play a position, the issue is you've got Bukayo Saka out on that right. And I know a lot of people say, oh, well, he could play left back, or he could play on the left, or he could play right back. You know, he's a very versatile player. But for me, when I've seen Bukayo Saka at his best, he's on that right-hand channel. Signing Jesus, if he doesn't want to play that striker role, and I'm sure that they've had conversations. I'm sure Arsenal are not just buying him without saying, look, you better play this striker role. This is what we're signing you to play. I'm sure that's what's gone on. But my hesitation, if I was an Arsenal fan, for Jesus would be, does he want to play that role? In terms of what he'll do, look, Jesus he's a mix of everything now. For City, what he used to do is he'd drop in, he'd link up, the ball would get played in from midfield, he'd put it into his feet, he'd maybe do a trick or two, lay it out wide, get in the box, right? That's how Jesus plays. For Arsenal, again, I'm assuming that Mikel Arteta is gonna want to play something similar. So it'll be balls out either to Saka, where you can play off of him, if this will all work. So you know, Jesus will drop in, you can play off, or it gives you that option where you can play into his feet. He likes to spin around defenders and make those runs back post. The one thing I maybe would give him criticism of is when, for example, if say Saka gets into this position here, his movement sometimes cannot be perfect, but more often than not, he'll make a run back or front post. I know Aguero used to make, for City, Aguero used to make the run across quite a lot. And this kind of area here is where Jesus scores a lot of his goals. Now, I looked at his goals, his stats actually from the last 3 seasons. He's not scored 1 goal outside the box. So all of his goals will come from inside the box. That's where you're going to like to see him. As long as he stays fit, I could see him. I think he'll easily notch over 10. I think 10 is easy for him. You know, playing consistently every week, I think he can get 10. Wouldn't be surprised if he got 15. I wouldn't be surprised if it's up around that 15 mark. He's top quality. He's just not elite. He's not an Erling Haaland, which City brought in. But in terms of what Arsenal are getting, look, you're getting a complete striker. In terms of, he will play with his back to goal. He'll link up. He'll come in to the box, and he'll score a lot of goals, and he'll also assist quite a lot as well. He's a very unselfish player. So yeah, I think that he'll add so much to Arsenal in that front line next season. I really do. I think he'll score a lot of goals, and I'm not looking forward to watching him in an Arsenal shirt, because I think he deserves. Look, I think it's a thing that's at City, where I think of some of the forward players is they want guaranteed starting time. But I think this is a thing at City now, where I think a lot of the attacking players are starting to say to themselves, look, I'm not getting the numbers that I want from myself, because realistically, you've got to look at it from attackers' point of view. They want to score so many goals. They want to be in the by the end of the season, they want to be in the top goal scorers. You're not going to get that at City because you're not guaranteed the minutes. Now, that might change with Haaland coming in. I'm not sure. But I think a lot of these attackers, they want to start more than 30 games a season. And at City, you're starting more close to the 20 mark. And I think for players like Sterling, for players like Gabriel Jesus, I think you'll see them go away from City. And I think you'll see them score quite a few goals. And I think Arteta is a good manager to have Jesus. He's worked with him before. They have a good relationship, I would assume. I know a lot of the players, when Arteta was at City, they adored him. He was the likable one, and Pep was kind of more like the I don't know, he's like the headmaster. You're a bit scared of him. But look, as I said, I think Jesus will score a lot of goals next season. And my prediction for Jesus at Arsenal next season is 15 goals. Now, before I finish this video, I just want to quickly explore what do Manchester City now miss with Jesus. And I'm going to be honest, not much. With the signings of Julian Alvarez, with the signing of Erling Haaland, I don't think losing Jesus is going to affect City really at all, if I'm honest. I think players will come in and they'll have a similar output to Jesus. This is upsetting for a City fan in terms of sentimental reasons. I think a lot of City fans, especially me, hold him kind of close to our heart because he was the one that scored the goal for Centurions. And look, he's an exciting player to watch. But yeah, in terms of for Arsenal fans, look, you've got a hell of a player for next season. As long as he stays fit and he's motivated to play that striker role, you've got a really, really good player next season. And I wouldn't be surprised if he scores more than 15 goals if he stays fit for the full season. And he's going to be really important for that push that you're going to make for the top 4 next season. Now, I still think you need some signings because other teams around you are getting stronger and Arsenal are going to have Europe next season. So I think they're going to need to make more signings. But having Gabriel Jesus in your team will give you a good chance. Now, before the video ends, I would be honored if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to keep putting content out. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.